Hi everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome to our sixth class together. I am so grateful for your ongoing support and I'm so delighted that these classes somehow help to sustain your home practice, whether you're looking just at some inspiration for the week, whether you kind of feel a little bit more held when you practice with somebody else, kind of giving a little bit of suggestion, let's call it suggestion for the class, or whether you want to take the class and give it completely a different spin. I'm so happy of this time that we have together and very grateful about it. On that note, I'm considering to move these classes back on a Monday. I had quite a few requests from you to actually do so, as the beginning of the week, it feels like a better time to set an intention than the Wednesday being already in the middle of the week. If you are looking at live stream classes, you can get in contact with me. We run a class every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Italian time. Which at the moment is the same of South Africa, if you're following from South Africa. If you're in different time zone, just check it out and see what the time difference would be for you. But if you would like to attend the class, you can just get in contact with me on www.beatricepedriniyoga.com. You can always find my website link on the comment below, and you can just send me an email with your email address so that I can add you to my mailing list. And that's the easiest way possible to attend, right? Okay, today is going to be a little bit of a different class, and I think the urge for movement is something quite real now. A lot of us are already in week 4 or 5 of lockdown, and that fidgeting feeling is quite overwhelming at times. So today we're going to move it, and we're going to move on our mats, mainly for those that don't have the allowance of a run or a jog or a walk, which I know some countries don't allow. You can still get that same benefit of movement through sun salutations. And today, in particular, I'm going to show you 3 options for sun salutation. You're going to choose one, and we're going to repeat it for quite a long period of time. And I really encourage you to just play your favorite music. I will leave you with a gorgeous piece of music that my husband kindly wrote for us and for these classes. You can listen to that, or you can just mute me and play your favorite playlist. I'm also going to include one of my favorite playlists on Spotify in the comments, in the box comments or comment box. Okay, but let's get it started. Before we go into our movement, let's start by grounding ourselves, feet parallel to each other, arms alongside of the body, palm facing forward, chest open, collarbone broad, crown of the head kind of ballooning up towards the ceiling. As I encourage a very subtle tucking of the tailbone under. So I start to lift and elevate the lower ribs up and away from the top rim of the pelvis. And for a moment here, just feel in my body. Spread the toes wide, start to feel the earth beneath your feet. Feel that rebound action of pressing down through the 4 corners of our feet and creating that elevation through the inner line of the legs, inner line of the pelvis, the core of the body, the spine, all the way to the base of the thigh. Spreading hands, arms, chest. And it's kind of all intertwined. The more I spread my fingers, I activate my arms and start drawing the collarbones away from the center of the sternum. Just standing, whether it's the start of your day or perhaps the middle. Stand in your day, stand facing yourself. But this time, instead of looking at our reflection, maybe in a mirror, we look inside. So we're staring at ourselves from the very inside of ourselves. Become present into our own bodies. Here we're just going to take a few really grounding breaths. So with your neck, inhale, reach the arms above your head. If you can, join the palm of the hands together, bend the elbows, and as you exhale slowly through the crown or of the head, through the throat, the heart space, the navel, all the way to the base of the spine and the pelvis. Kind of push my exhale down, and then I separate my hands. Inhale, reach up, lengthen the side body, start to activate through the shoulders and armpits. Exhale, trace the midline of the body. Just awareness of midline, of equilibrium. Then inhale, reach up, lengthen up. And it's almost like I'm creating a fountain effect with my arms. I source my breath from outside, from the atmosphere around me. And I release any other waste matter, well, in this case, in form of CO2 into that same atmosphere. And what a great gift is that we can source from the environment. Our earth, our planet kind of feeds us, takes our waste matter and retransforms it into nourishment. And perhaps sometimes when you're having a little bit of a tough day due to lockdown or the current situation that we're living in, we can just take our awareness to that. The environment around me actually feeds me, supports me, nourishes me. 2 more rounds. Inhale, extend, lengthen, reach. Exhale, track your midline and kind of ground the energy down from the crown all the way down to the pelvis. Almost feeling like, okay, I'm kind of pushing this breath all the way down. I root into my breath. I root and ground this breath into this body, into this specific moment. Okay, and then release the hands. Just a couple of side stretches before we go into sun salute. Inhale, reach your arms up, bend the knees. It's the left hand that grabs the right wrist. With the exhale, just take a little bit of a side stretch to the left. So I'm taking my right arm across to the left, perhaps moving the hips slightly to the right. Gaze is down and the neck is relaxed. Center on the inhale, bend knees, extend the arms. Exhale, right hand grabs left wrist and the side stretch is towards the right, opening up the seam of the body, opening up the armpit area, the outer edge of the shoulder. Toes are active, legs are active. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, buttock back, chest forward. It's a very slow movement. As I start folding forward, maybe with knees bent. Maybe if at the start of your day you're feeling a little cranky or a little bit tighter, just bend the knees and encourage a sense of softness into your body. Tuck your chin in, relax your head. Bend the knees even more. Inhale, roll the spine up, trying to suction the belly button to the spine. Once shoulders land over the plane of the hips, roll them up, back and down. One more time. Inhale, reach arms up. Let's go super slow. This time we start right hand, grabbing left wrist. The exhale, we go across towards the right, hips to the left. Center on an inhale, try to lengthen the breath to the maximum. Separate your hands. Exhale, left hand, right wrist, hips to the right. Open up the lateral line of the body. Center on an inhale, split your hands, buttock back, chest forward, bend the knees. Stay quite loose and soft here as you fold. Uttanasana. Relax your head and your neck, and we're just going to do a couple of rounds of extra breath into the shape. So whether you want to kind of stretch your legs and open up the back of the knees, or perhaps you want to lengthen the spine even more, maybe by interlacing the hands behind the head and kind of opening up the neck area, the cervical part of your spine. And then loosen up the arms to the floor, bend the knees, and very slowly uncoil the spine. Rolling each vertebra on top of the other, and then taking a nice look through the shoulders. Okay, how we're gonna do this today is that I'm gonna give you really two options here. And well, let's say three options, which is actually 2 and a half, and you can decide. So the first option would be child's pose and cat and cow. So I'm going to take a half vinyasa just to make my way into child's pose. So the next inhale, I bring my knees down. Exhale, untuck the toes, buttock to the heels, and I just relax here. Then very slowly, inhale, I roll forward, open up the chest, tuck the toes under, cow stretch. Exhale, navel to spine, around between the shoulder blades, and at the bottom of my exhale, I find child's pose again. You can take a resting breath between each round, and you're just gonna move like that. Inhale, go forward, cow stretch, opening chest, opening collarbones. Exhale, cat stretch, navel to spine, round between the shoulder blades, untuck the toes at the bottom of your exhale, child's pose. And it's really quite nice to take that extra breath. Okay, this would be your first option, and again, you can move it as much as you want. Maybe you want to introduce downward facing dog, so I can go inhale to the cow, exhale down dog, hold for the inhale, exhale, rounding into cat slowly, and back to child's pose. You can modify the breath in a way that serves you. The second option would be Class6 Surya Namaskar with Anjaneyasana. So I'm going to start from the top of my mat, and I'm going to show you before we're going to do it together. Okay? Then I'm going to take my mic on, and then we're just going to get the music and the breath and the body moving without overthinking. Today is really about feeling into our bodies. Not a lot of processing information, not a lot of refining into today's practice, just a lot of movement. Let's move the stagnancy from perhaps the sedentary lives that we are forced to live in this moment, or most sedentary. Okay, your other option would be inhale, high mountain, high mountain. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Adha Uttanasana. Exhale, we're going to step the left foot back, left knee comes to the ground. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. You can keep the back toes tucked or not, depending on which is the opening that you're kind of looking for. Front of the ankle, top of the foot, or perhaps the sole of the foot and the Achilles. Then you would tuck. Okay, hands come down to the floor. High plank pose. When we repeat sun salutation in this way, I always suggest to take a supported chaturanga. Maybe not for every round, but for most of it. And then I can control it better. With the exhale, lower down, down, down. Inhale, I'm gonna take a nice cobra, and you can take it as high as it feels appropriate for you. Maybe a nice opening to get the chest broad. The exhale, I move into downward facing dog. I hold my inhale into downward facing dog. Exhale, in this case, my left foot steps forward. So I go back with the left, I come forward with the left. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Knee injuries, just be sure that your knee stays behind the line of your ankle joint. Exhale, nice circle to hands to the floor. And then we step the right foot to to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Fold as you exhale. Perhaps allow your exhale to just flow out of your open lips. All 10 toes rise. High mountain as you inhale. Exhale, lower hands to the heart. That is half a round. Inhale, reach your arms above your head. High mountain. Urdhva Hastasana. I got it eventually. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, halfway left, lengthen. Exhale, right foot steps back, right knee softens to the ground. Anjaneyasana, inhale, reach the arms above your head. Exhale, circle the arms back and down, hands on the floor. High plank, that's your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga with the knees down. Such a nice slow variation so that you can uncoil almost the spine down. Inhale into your cobra. Bhujangasana. Exhale, hands and knees. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay for your inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward, left knee comes to the ground. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift the side body here. And exhale, hands lower back to the ground. Frame the right foot with both hands. And then step left foot to meet the right. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. All 10 toes rise with you. Exhale, hands to the heart. And find Samastitihi. Okay, so that was a full round. We're going to do quite a few minutes of it. And I really encourage you to be mindful and focused so that you remember. First round, you step back, left foot. You step again forward, left foot. Second part of the first round, you step back with the right and you step again forward with the right. This is quite important. Okay, let's come to the front of it. I'm going to take my mic off here. Okay, so I'm going to move with you, and from now you're not going to hear my voice, but you're going to be able to just move with your breath, with your body, with the sound that you choose for yourself. Sweat towel in this case is your best friend. I reckon you kind of get going until you really break into a sweat. Here today we have a beautiful spring day, which turns out to be quite warm, so it's easy to break down. But if it's winter and it's cold, you can get closer to the heater, but like break into a sweat, let all those toxins out. And if you can pause the video at this point and just keep going for another perhaps 15-20 minutes, just play some music, move with your breath. If you prefer quiet, be quiet and just explore this movement, this connection and this presence. Okay. If you kind of finish with your rounds, we're actually going to meet into downward facing dog. I'm going to take, let's say, a short vinyasa here to just lower myself down into Adho Mukha Svanasana, a little hop. And bend knees, bend elbows so that there's no strain. Just lengthen everything here. Open up armpit area. Open up the fingers. Relax the head and the neck. Okay. And then slowly, let's lift the left leg all the way up. Right heel can be on the ground or not. And then slowly start to open the left hip over the right. Maybe bending the knee, squeezing the left heel to the right glute almost. So you're stacking and opening and stacking and opening. Nice stretch for the hip flexors here. And then slowly I'm going to draw the knee forward, pigeon pose. You can go quite narrow with the angle of your knee and your hip, well mainly your hip. This kind of opening more into a parallel line between shin and front of the mat. It's not really the knee, it's the hip. So the knee, it just stays into this 90-degree angle, but if you in front the hip, then perhaps you may be able to take the shin a little bit more parallel. I always like to lift my back knee, in this case my right knee, tuck the toes, lengthen the head of the right femur bone away from the hip socket, and then maybe you can just lower down onto the forearm. If you're quite far away from the ground and you have some bucks or you have your yoga roll, you can always place your forehead on top of your roll. Or if you just love to be melted on the floor, you can do so now. I'm trying to keep the length of the torso as you keep encouraging the floating ribs, the lower ribs, up and away from the top of the pelvis. And maybe your arms are nice and extended forward. Breath is long. Your inhale broadens out the back of the lungs, the kidney belt, the back of the pelvis. And the exhale, you gently curl the belly button inward towards the spine. You kind of suction the belly a little bit, hollow the belly, tuck the tailbone to your right heel. And breathe deeper. And then slowly halfway lift and start to walk your hands back a fraction. Okay, I think I need to give my mic a little bit of adjustment. No, it's holding. Okay, then I'm gonna sit onto my left glute, and this time kind of squeeze the back of my knee to find again the diagonal line of my shin. Swing the right leg in front, and if you can, you keep this left leg at ease. If it's too much, you can always straighten the left leg, so either Ardha Matsyendrasana or full Matsyendrasana. Okay, the right foot is rooted onto the floor. Okay, and I'm going to twist to the right. Twist to the right if you're not pregnant. If you're pregnant and you're still doing this class, I'm sure you already did your variation, but if you're pregnant, you can take a nice open twist to the left. If you're not pregnant, then really squeeze that right knee towards the right hand side of the torso. Right hand behind you, and the inside of the left elbow kind of wraps around that right knee. And you could also hook the elbow. That's always a nice variation, just to open the collarbone and deepen the twist. But after all the sun salute here, what you want to really do is kind of massage the organs into your belly. So it's like a soft twist, and maybe for a couple of rounds you soften the belly into the right thigh. And you lift up, spine up, crown of the head up, and you kind of wrap around the axis of your own spine, of your own central line. Keep the chest and the collarbone open. Then release. Options here. You may just want to cross your right shin with the left, or pick up your right shin. Bring your left shin parallel to the front of your mat, and then stack your shin into shoelace or Agni Stambhasana. If this feels like, oh no, it's a bit too much, then just cross the right shin in front of the left. And you see what's the difference? When you cross at the shins, you're opening more around the outer edges of the thighs. The inner thighs stay long as well. That's why you want to kind of point your big toes mound to the left and the right, but where you're really getting that yummy stretch is towards the IT bend and the outer edges of the glutes. Okay, if you're in shoelace, then stack, and if you have a blankie or even your sweat towel, I can always use my roll. Place the roll between foot and knee, left foot, right knee, if you feel that the knee is quite elevated away from the foot. Okay, I'm gonna turn or wobble a little to face you. Okay. We got right shin on top, left leg at the bottom if you got a little bit lost. Left arm extends forward, flex your wrist. Wrap all the fingers of your right hand around your pinky and support here with the thumb. So in this little crease between your wrist and your hand, there's kind of a flat point. Try to hook your thumb there. Take a big breath in, draw the left pinky back. Exhale, roll the shoulder down, shoulder blade slides down. Inhale, go to your ring finger, draw it back, open the inner line of the wrist. Exhale, shoulder down, shoulder blade down. To the middle finger, inhale, draw the mid finger back towards you. And exhale, roll out the shoulders, shoulder blade, everything softens down. To the index finger, keep your toes and your legs active. Draw it back with your index finger back with your inhale. And exhale, draw shoulder down and kind of point the wrist forward. This little crease of the wrist, the inner line. To the thumb, wrap the fingers around the thumb. The thumb doesn't just go towards you, but I like to draw it a little bit more towards the center of my hand. That's why I really get into that spot. And then shoot the wrist forward and draw the shoulder down with your exhale. Release. Okay, bring both hands forward. Fingertips point towards you, open the inner line of the wrist, and the further you go with your hands, the deeper the stretch, but try not to make it unbearable. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine. Exhale out through the mouth, and now round your spine. suction navel to spine, and if you can, take another breath in and then go into Uddiyana Kriya. Really fly your lower belly up towards the diaphragm. So inhale here, exhale, squeeze all the air out. Hold the breath out, and with the breath out, suction the belly. I need to do it again, otherwise I can't suction. And release. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and then soften them back and down. Okay, two options here. So you would be still facing the front of your mat. You can just unravel the same way you go in. So right knee towards you, back into pigeon, and downward facing dog from there. Or if you're feeling a little bit more active today, cross at the ankles, shift the weight forward, and then you can take a little hop or just step, plank pose, chaturanga, exhale, inhale, up dog, or cobra, exhale, downward facing dog. Whichever is your option, we all meet here into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right leg rises with the inhale. Exhale, open right hip over the left. From the hip, lift that right leg up, and then slowly bend the right knee and try to squeeze the right heel towards the left glute. And it's like you're trying to draw the very point or the patella of your right knee all the way up to the ceiling. And then slowly draw knee to nose, shin to chest, and land the shin onto your mat, just behind the line of the wrist. And then from here, adjust. Sometimes you might need to shift a little bit of weight onto the right buttock just to find your angle. So adjust your angle, but then lift up your pelvis and draw right hip back. As you wrap the outer left hip and outer left thigh forward, and then you sit. That means if you're feeling that you're leaning too much into your right hip, rather take a cushion or like a blankie and support the outer thigh. Okay, once you got that, extend your back leg, make it longer, and then decide where do you want to take your pigeon. Weight on your forearms, supporting your head with blocks or books, or maybe you just go all the way down and you soften a little here. Soften your effort. Lengthen your breath. Encourage the tailbone to draw back towards your left heel and really open up the lumbar region of your spine. Maybe for this round you want to point the palm of your hands up and kind of bring the shoulders in more of an external rotation, so that you can allow the edges of your torso to melt towards the floor. Again, find that soft opening into the hip and try not to strain your right knee in any possible way. And then slowly release and come back onto your hands. Lift your chest. Now sit on your right buttock and shorten the angle between shin knee and back of the thigh. Swing left leg forward and point the left foot, the sole of the left foot down. Again, if that's too much, your bottom leg can be extended forward. And now we twist towards the left again. Pregnant ladies, twist towards the right. If hug the knee or find that stop sign with that right hand, and then inhale, lift and length, and then exhale, just swivel around the axis of your spine. What I really like about having inner elbow towards outer knee is that I kind of feel that my right shoulder blade kind of extend away from the rib cage and the center of the spine. It's a lot of space behind my scapula, and I can breathe even more space into that area. Really expanding the back of the lungs, the side of the lungs towards the armpits into the shape. And kind of unknotting all the tension from behind my scapula. Just simply using the breath. And then slowly look forward. Release your twists. Again, swastikasana, you can cross at the shins and kind of support the outer knees with the inner arches of your feet. Or other option, shoe the Agni Stambhasana. Shins on top of each other, big toes pointing outward, pinky toes pointing towards the center of the shin. Spine is long, tailbone is down. Okay, right arm now goes forward. Flex your wrist so that now your fingernails are facing towards you. And we start from the pinky again. Hook the thumb here on the sweet spot or flat spot between wrist and hand. Left hand wraps around right pinky. Take a big breath in, draw pinky back. Exhale, shoulder down, shoulder blade down. Inhale, ring finger, draw it back. Exhale, lower the shoulder, soften the shoulder blades to the ground. Shoot the wrist forward. To the index, inhale, draw it back. Keep your other fingers open. Exhale, shoulder down. Wrist forward. Index finger, again, open your other fingers as much as you can. Inhale, draw index back. Exhale, soften shoulder down and move wrist forward. To the thumb, and draw it slightly back and a little bit to the center of your palms. And then take a big breath in, and as you exhale, really shoot the wrist forward and soften the outer edge of your right shoulder down. Gorgeous. And then again, move both hands to the floor. You decide as far away from you as you want to keep your hands. And you're going to go 2 rounds here. Either a holding of navel to spine once that you can retain the breath out of your body, Uddiyana Kriya, or just simply exhaling and rounding. Off you go. Opening up, lifting up, and then second round, exhale completely. Inhale, roll up, lift up, and exhale, loop the shoulders. Down dog. So again, you have the choice to just unravel your legs and swing this left leg back, or if you in the front of your mat and you would like to just cross the shin, kind of point your feet so that you roll over the top of your feet and then go back 1 foot and then the other, fine plank. And you can do supported chaturanga or full chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Child's pose, knees come down, quite wide, top of the feet find each other, and then you just ease your way to the floor. And again, you can take any arm gesture, whether your palms are facing up or down. But try to encourage the sitting bones towards your heels. I like to apply actually a little bit of pressure with my hands here to really lengthen the whole spine. It's just like I'm pressing back, but I'm also gripping with my fingers. So part of my spine is kind of going forward, and the lower part of my spine and the tailbone are going back and down. Shoulders relax. Breath deepens. You can stay here for as long as you would like to. Otherwise, if you're ready to move, roll the spine up. Take a nice big loop through the shoulders. And then make your way onto your back body. And today we're gonna close with the strap. And a release for the legs. We use our legs quite a lot. And we kind of want to soften all the tension, drain the legs, create an internal movement here as we shift around the flow of the liquids into our body. You know, gravity standing on our feet, the direction is usually one, but in this case we kind of want to reverse it, like a time, I don't know the name of that thing. In Italy it's called clessidra. Is that time measure where you have sand and you shift it around. It's kind of the same thing. When you invert it, the sand goes from one compartment to the other. It's kind of the same thing that we do with the body. Okay, strap issues. I always do that with strap. It's so funny. I kind of sometimes just lose it and say, okay, I'm gonna undo you and redo you. Okay, the loop of the strap will have to depend on your flexibility and openness around the back body. I'm gonna give myself quite some slack. I wanna be comfortable into the shape. I'm actually gonna turn around so my head is towards you. I'm gonna place the strap, say around the waistband, okay? Or for us ladies, quite easy, where your bra strap is. Then I'm gonna lower all the way down. Oops, the mic. I'm gonna take this off, place it to the side. Hopefully I didn't turn it off, and then lower myself down, hug knees to chest. Then I'm gonna take the second edge of the strap towards the ball of the feet, and then just extend the legs up. And this is gonna be our Shavasana for today. So just allowing legs to drain, arms to stay open and broad. What's kind of nice is that I can use the weight of my torso and the weight of my shoulders to just press the strap into the earth, the tailbone forward, and here I revert my legs. So I revert the flow of circulation, of lymph, the fluids of my body now all migrate towards the heart space, towards big area that are full of lymph nodes, pelvis, armpits, just to name a few. By draining, I allow everything to be purified and refreshed. This feels almost like movement. What does movement do to us? It moves toxins. And you will notice while we were doing our sun salutation, perhaps for today, some of the energy shifted. Some thought moved and shifted. Some body feeling of sensation, some stagnancy in the body just released. Just be aware of how your body feels after the movement. If you feel throughout the day that you are tense or frustrated or nervous, just remember you can unroll your mat and just do something simple as sun salutation of cat and cow, and just move the energy. The energy moves even when you are in stillness. Think about the movement of your own breath. I have this beautiful breeze that is moving air around me. And it feels so refreshing, like taking a full, wholehearted, lung-filling breath. Savor that breath, almost like you savor your favorite food, your favorite meal. And then slowly bring your hands to the strap, bend the knees and release the strap from your feet. You can just release the strap behind you and then just hug your knees, your thighs into your chest. Maybe bringing the hands onto the shins, just to apply not really pressure or pulling, but just a little bit of a weighing sensation as you hollow your navel underneath the shape, that little resistance of your thighs. And then roll onto the side when you're ready. You choose which side you would like to roll onto today. And pause here for a moment. When you're ready to rise, you pull yourself up at it with a nice soft head and neck. And only at the end you use your hand to kind of realign your head up. And then find a seat onto your mat, keeping your spine nice and long. Keeping your shoulders broad, your chest open. And again, just bask a few more moments into your body. Marinate into breath. And just blend yourself into this moment. Become this moment. And acknowledge how temporary this moment is. Thank you all for sharing another class with me today. Namaste.